What's the most annoying thing on the internet? I say it's cookie banners. They show up everywhere. And today, you'll learn what show up means. Hi, I'm Jeff, and this is Plain English, episode number 848 on Thursday, March 19th, 2026. The full lesson, with a transcript, quiz, and practice opportunities, is at plainenglish.com/848. Today's expression is show up. It's an essential phrasal verb. It doesn't really mean what it sounds like, but you have to know it. We used show up in an episode from 2019. We were talking about cookie announcements, those banners that appear at the bottom of nearly every website asking if you accept the cookies. I said that cookie announcements had started showing up on websites all over the internet. They started appearing seemingly out of nowhere everywhere you looked. So that's how we used show up in plain English the first time. Now let's talk about how you can use show up in your own daily life. Before we start today's story, I'd just like to remind you that the podcast is just one part of how we can help you upgrade your English skills. At plainenglish.com, you can make faster progress with active learning strategies. You can take quizzes, do activities, listen to the fast version of the audio, watch video workshops, practice what you learn, and even join a live call with JR and me. It's all about helping you build your skills to become a better, more confident English speaker. Sound good? Go to plainenglish.com to start your free 14-day trial today. Now, let's jump into today's story. Today's expression is to show up. I almost missed it. I was looking for a good expression or phrasal verb, and I skipped right by show up when I was reading through the transcript. But it's a good one. It's a really, really good one, and I want you to practice using it right away. There are two ways to use it: when you're referring to a thing and when you're referring to a person. Here's how you heard it earlier. Cookie announcements have started showing up on websites all over the internet. The announcements have started showing up. That means the cookie announcements have started appearing all over the internet. If you're referring to a thing, then show up means to appear. You usually say this when you're starting to see something where you were not expecting it or where there was nothing before. Here are some examples. There's an error message showing up on my screen. I'm looking at my screen. Everything's normal. Now an error message appears when I wasn't expecting it. An error message showed up. It appeared. These brown spots started showing up on the leaves of my houseplants. I think it means they're not getting enough water. Or maybe it means they're getting too much water. I can never tell. Over the last few years, more and more little gray hairs have started showing up on the sides of my head, just out of nowhere, unexplained. Probably too much stress from trying to keep my plants alive. Okay, now let's talk about show up with people. When we're talking about people, Show up means to go to a specific place and to present yourself there. We often say show up to when we want to specify the place. For example, I usually show up to work around 8 o'clock in the morning. Work is the place, and I specify that I show up to work around 8 o'clock. My colleague shows up late all the time. That's frustrating. You might have a friend like that, someone you know who always shows up late. It doesn't matter where, that person just shows up late to everything. I have no idea how many people are going to show up to my party. Maybe a lot of people will show up. Maybe a lot of people will attend. But maybe just a handful of people will show up. We don't know. Hundreds of people showed up to protest in the streets. What does that mean? There was a protest and hundreds of people were there. Hundreds of people showed up. Well, it is a plain English first. The quote of the week includes the expression. The quote is from the actor Woody Allen, and it's a famous one in English. You see versions of this quote all over the internet, but the first person to say it was Woody Allen. Here it is. Showing up is 80% of life. There are other variants. Often you hear that 80% of success is just showing up, but they all mean the same thing. You have to try. You have to show up. Just start. Do something. That's not a guarantee of success, but it is necessary. So many people don't show up. They don't try. They give up. Think about it. Let's say you want to be closer to friends and family in 2020. It can sometimes be daunting, intimidating, but if that's your goal, just dial the number. That's showing up in this sense. Pick up the phone and dial the number and press the green button. That's 80% of what you need to keep up a friendship with someone. The other 20% is whatever you say to that person when they pick up. But just showing up, just placing the call, that gets you 80% of the way there, according to this quote. There's a famous saying in English, showing up is 80% of life. Some people say, showing up is half the battle. And here you are showing up to Plain English every week. That already puts you ahead of most people who only say they want to improve their English. Well, that's all for episode number 848. Get the full lesson at plainenglish.com/848. We'll be back on Monday with a new story. See you then. Listen up if you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, or Turkish. One of the most frustrating things about listening and reading in a second language is being confused by unfamiliar words or phrases. When you listen to Plain English, or when you read the transcript, you probably encounter some words you don't know. When that happens, you have a few options. You can stop the audio, go look up the definition, then return to the episode, find your place, and press play again, but that's exhausting. Or you can just skip it and be confused. That's no fun either. But what if you could see the translation of the word into your language instantly without having to stop the audio, without having to look anything up? Well, you can at plainenglish.com. For each episode, we translate about 100 words and phrases from English to 9 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, and Turkish. And we highlight those words in blue. All you have to do is hover your mouse over the highlighted word, and you'll see the translation instantly. It works great on mobile too. It really makes listening a lot more satisfying, and it's a great way to expand your vocabulary in English. The best way to see these translations is to sign up for a free 14-day trial at plainenglish.com. During your trial, you can read as many transcripts as you like, all with the translations into your language. So sign up for your free trial today at plainenglish.com.